What is up, Gooder Gang? Welcome to another show, the So Smokin Gooder Show. We're going to do something a little different tonight. Instead of playing that 3-minute countdown, I got to hang out with the half-fast cookers over last weekend at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And we had some quality entertainment. So we're going to play a couple of clips from the entertainment, and then we're going to finish it up with somebody y'all know very well. Whenever Ty plays it, I'll stop talking. Here we go. Let's start the show.
With chicken fried barbecue, and you're watching the So Smokin Gooder Show. Boom.
All righty, what is up, Gooder Gang? Welcome back to the So Smokin Gooder Show. I am your host, Robert Roach, and I'm coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas. Damn glad you're checking us out. However, you are checking us out. Some of you guys are on Facebook, some of you guys are on YouTube, and 1 or 2 or 3 of you guys are on the Twitches, and I appreciate it very much. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, get yourself a drink. Let's have some fun as we're going to celebrate 2 people that are very special to me. I always say it all the time. My favorite German cook, talking about Uwe Braun, and my barbecue homie, Danny Regan. They are the GC and the RGC from a couple weeks back at the CBA World Championships in Seguin, Texas. I know we just celebrated. You just saw some video clips from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We're going to talk all about that as well. And next week on the show, little programming note, we're going to have the grand champion. We're going to have Mr. Tim Milligan from Team Chupacabra, team of South Texas is who he's cooking for. And we're going to have, of course, Jackie Milligan. She's going to be here as well. She's a champion rib cook. And you just saw from Bill Purvis, a champion chicken cook. So my goodness, lots of good stuff ahead on the So Smokin Gooder Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see a lot of you guys are rolling in, and I love it. We'll get to you guys here in just a minute, which is the Gooder Gang, the best part of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to talk about, I'm going to bring producer Ty in right now. I'm going to bring him in early. Ty never knows when I'm going to bring him in. What's up, Ty? How are you, bub?
What's going on, sir?
So you got to participate in the 4th annual Pitmaster Party held at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo over at the War Pig barbecue tent. Shout out to Dennis Butterworth and the entire War Pig crew. They were amazing. They were awesome. They invited all of the Pitmasters that were there on Wednesday night back into the VIP area. I re-aired that tonight in case you guys were not able to attend or see that, but because we had, I don't know, Ty, what do you think? How many people were back in that VIP area, bro?
There was at least 100. There was over 100. I would easily.
It was great. And we had world champions. We had world champion winners. We had grand champions back there. It was just a very special time because if you guys are able to attend the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, get there early. Get there on Wednesday because in the back or in that moment, we're going to do the 5th annual Pitmaster Party held at the War Pig barbecue tent next year. It's just a free-flowing, easy-going. Everybody's relaxed. Everybody is in a good mood, and nobody is stressing about the contest. The contest is like 5 days away because this is a Wednesday, 4 days away, whatever. But everybody's just having a good time. It's a really relaxed atmosphere. You get to talk shop with a lot of these world champion barbecue pitmasters. It's just a good moment, man. And what did you experience? That was your first time to attend that, Ty. What did you think, bro?
Yeah, I actually called Dennis Butterworth earlier today and was singing happy birthday to him. So shout out, Dennis, for happy birthday for earlier this week.
Hold up. Did you say singing happy birthday to him?
Oh, yeah. I call it when I see it on my Facebook or I see people that I know have a birthday, if it registers with my ADHD mind, I always call and sing. So,
sing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love that, producer Ty.
Yeah, I sang him happy birthday. But I was telling him, I've been going to the Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show for about 5 years since I moved here. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the cook-off for the last 5 years, but I'd never been to the show beforehand. Last year when you and Bell did it, I was here. Yeah. So being down there, seeing all the work that goes into it, I mean, I knew there was a lot of work, but seeing it firsthand, from the coolers to the food to the electronics to the concessions they had, and then the VIP area you had with lounge chairs, all those cookers, like Bill Purvis is walking in, Phil Breeden's walking in, you're there, all these world champions. I got to see my boy Tom Clark from JC's Good Old Boys. It was
absolutely
great. It was the coolest thing that I could be a part of. I was actually sitting there and I was more quiet than normal because I was just in awe of like how cool the War Pig tent was. So shout out to Dennis for doing it.
He's got a great tent. We showed it. You showed it last weekend, but that was a VIP area. But inside, they have that parachute. I know you saw them. You appreciate all of that, I imagine. Being a veteran, thank you for your service again. Sure. But it's always great to be back there. He's got that container bar, which is just decked out and wrapped. It's beautiful. And then we got to go back there. He had the Crown Royal, throne.
I sat on the throne.
You sat on the throne.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But just seeing all of the pitmasters back there, just talking shop, having a good time. Like I said, it's really relaxed. If you guys are able to go to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, make sure you get there a little early and go for that Wednesday night because we'll be back there again next year. Producer Ty hopefully will be as well. But I'll definitely be there. Well, God willing, I'll definitely be there and doing the 5th annual Pitmaster Party from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We will talk Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. You guys saw some of the entertainment. Shout out to Half Fast Cookers for having me out there as well. Man, that was always a pleasure. It's my second year to cook the Houston. We'll go over my results in a minute. Y'all can't. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but they're there. My results. I'm always open on how we do out there. Is it? Can you see it, Ty? Is it? Let's go.
It's a little bit small. Go full screen on yourself there.
Below it right here. Full screen. That is a 30. I'll go over. Why not? Let's just do it right now. 33rd chicken. I guess there were 252 entries. 29th rib. Sitting pretty nice. I'll tell the story. Diane, we got the results on Sunday. We went to my son's baseball practice. And so she's going through the results and she's like, all right, 33rd chicken. I'm like, okay, that's fucking great. 252 teams. Let's just keep it up right now. 29th rib. I'm like, awesome. The ribs deserve a little bit better than that. And then she was scrolling on brisket. I was like, all right, let's go. What we do brisket? I'm thinking, hey, if we're still in that same area, we'll be at top 10, maybe top 5. You never know. And so she's going through brisket and I can watch her. I'm like trying not to watch. I'm watching my son and she keeps scrolling and scrolling. And I'm like, and I see like 70th place and she's still scrolling. 90th place, keeps scrolling. 110th place. I'm like, oh my God, she had to have missed us. Had to have missed us already. Keep scrolling. I was like, no way, Diane. There is no way. Back there. Keep scrolling. And she fucking hits my knee and she's like 165. I'm like, are you kidding? Straight disrespected, Ty. That was a great brisket. Shout out to RC Ranch for providing that brisket. But my goodness, it was really good. I was really happy with everything. I tried to. I saw the Chicken Fried Show. I did, and we provide beautiful, pristine boxes, but I tried not to yesterday or Saturday, Sunday, whatever the hell it was. Saturday, I tried to not make it so beautiful. But maybe that hurt me. I don't know. I left the fat on. I don't know. We'll talk about that a little later. What's up, Dwayne? Good to see you guys. We'll give some shout outs to the Gooder Gang here. Let's do it right now. We'll talk Houston Livestock Show. But that says 165, bro.
Well, I saw the video that you guys put out when you guys were going back and forth, and I think it was chicken that I saw, and it looked your chicken looked beautiful. That video you put out on social media.
We've done well in chicken. We've done well in brisket, or ribs, and I thought we have been figuring it out a little bit, and so I was pretty happy with what we turned it. Very happy actually. What we did. All right, well let's do this. Let's give some shout outs to the Gooder Gang, and then after I do that, Ty, let's get that sponsor roll going, and then we'll get Uwe on, and then we'll get Mr. Danny Regan on. But all right, first in. As always, or not as always, Daddy Dutch is always there as well. Carlos Calzada, hey gang, from Maryland. We got Daddy Dutch. Second in, Christian Contreras, my man. I hope you're doing well. Christian, how'd you do with the Smoking on the Rio? I'm sorry I wasn't there to meet you. I couldn't make it this year, but plan on being there next year. The Dude Barbecue, what is going on? ZZ Top Fan, Josh Criddle, how are you? Sean Trainer, my friend, what's up, bitches? I like it. Corby Simpkins. Good evening from Doodle Q, Cockadoodle Q. Corby, we use the Doodle Q. You saw it. I don't know if you saw it in video. We didn't post that on there. There's Cesar Mahia. What is going on? ChickN Bark is in the house. We got some new video from ChickN Bark coming up. Surge is in the house. You guys that don't know, this is my follow team, and we'll get Surge on not next weekend. Look at the ChickN Bark, but the following weekend, and Serge is just finding out. So Serge, if you're available in 2 weeks, I want you on. We're going to talk about the follow team. Brandon Perriman, what is going on? Eddie Morales, the Pit Father Barbecue. Larry Vaughn checking in from South Jersey. Wet and windy today. All right, I like it. Nicho, Ashley, what is going on? Hello, Gooder Gang. Alexa Skip. I was trying to not do one of them. Jared McCrory, Barefoot Cookers, checking in. Mr. Chapa, what is up? Woohoo, excited to see Uwe take a drink every time he says, oh, bullshit. All right, well, hey, we're drinking. Hope you guys are as well. Pour a drink and hang out with us for a little bit. Bobby Delgado, my teammate over at Texas Original Charcoal. What's up, Bobby? How are you? Sure Shot Barbecue. Hello. She says hi. I think that's that might be Josh. You never know. Yes, I can barbecue. ChickN Bark, less rage. God's Country, that is AJ Garza. If you guys do not know David what's going on. Michael Sistrunk in the house checking in. John Rodriguez. What is up? Big Family Barbecue. What's up, Gooder Gang? Cold evening to all be setting up at Rodeo Austin. Good luck if you're cooking Rodeo Austin, Brian Fox. Man, I hope you had a lot of wristbands for all those tents. I got around. You know how we do. Dwayne Turnbow, I got to spend a few minutes with Dwayne. How are you, Dwayne? How'd you do, brother? Didn't see all the results. Reggie Q Barbecue. What's up, everybody? I'll be saying Reggie Q very soon. I got to visit with James and Erica Dodson. What is going on? Jackie Milligan, a world champion rib cook. Look at that profile picture right there. Looking sweet. I got to visit with Jackie and Tim on Friday night before the contest. And I got a great picture that I will show. I'll post. I haven't posted my results yet, but I'll post for everybody to see. Play the clip, Mr. Phil Breeden in the house. I don't know if Ty's got that lined up. He might have it in a minute.
I'm Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smokin Gooder Show.
Ty is on it. Derek Bernal from Heavy's Barbecue. No one beats Heavy's Meat. There he is right there. Ed Abari kicking in there. Let's go. Stephen Pfeiffer. What is going on? Roy Austin, the other half. I recognize 165, 265. True, but that would have been terrible. Gilbert checking in. Fidel Sanchez. I'll be saying your name a little later in the show as well. Vegan Suck. We know that is Daddy Dutch checking in. He's got two of them. Armando. What is going on? Jacob Kennedy. Joyce. How are you? Let's go. Who else? Los Gordos. Brandon Flores. We got to be getting here close. What's up, Erica? How are you? Andy Reyes from What You Smoking. And all right, I think that's about it. Thank you, Gooder Gang 75, checking in already across all of them. We're hoping to get some more in before we end this thing. All right, well, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo lived up. It was their 50th anniversary. It lived up to all the hype. I enjoyed every bit of it, even with my brisket result. It's just a special contest. If you guys are able to cook that, please do. Find some teams that maybe just look on the score sheets. And if I said this last year, if you guys really want to do this and you're serious about cooking barbecue, why don't you look at the score sheets and go from 252 and call them or find out who the head cook is or whatever and say, hey, I'm a competition cook. I really would like to do this. Because a lot of those guys that are finishing the 250s or the 200s don't really care. They're just there to party. They're legacy teams. They're really, we talk about Houston as its own separate animal, but there are legacy teams out there that really just are there to host a party and really do not care about the competition. So if you're really serious about wanting to get in something like this, what's up, Karen and Eddie Lopez checking in? I like that. Aaron Leslie in the house. What's up, bitches? Rudy checking in. Hello, Rudy. Blowing Smoke, AP Rub, Renee Gonzalez. Appreciate that. But yeah, check on those guys and call them up. Find out who they are and say, hey, man, I'm a competition cook. Give them your stats, whatever it may be, and try and get in, because that is a special contest. It was something that I live in Houston. I wasn't able to cook it, so it wasn't like on my radar type thing. But after being asked to cook for half-fast cookers, it's unique. I got to walk. I was blessed to walk last year. I didn't get a walk this year. But man, for those that were able to walk that stage, they experienced what I experienced last year. It is special. You walk up on that stage, you see a sea of people, you see the Ferris wheel back there, you see the Houston Astrodome, you see NRG Stadium back there, you see a wall of people. It is a special contest. So if you're able to get in, I would highly recommend you do what I just said, man. Call these people, man. Hit them up. They probably would welcome you. Like, absolutely, come in here, and cook our competition meats, and hopefully you can get them on stage. The team that I cook with, Half Fast Cookers, shout out to Tuna and Todd and the whole crew over at Half Fast Cookers. They're amazing. They have a huge party. It is one of the best parties out there. I know we talked about War Pigs last week, but man, the Half Fast Cookers crew do a phenomenal job. They bring in the people. They bring in the entertainment. You saw Kevin Fowler. You saw Identity Theft. I don't know the name of that Zydeco band, but they were amazing. The entertainment, and Bayou City Cookers that does all of the heavy lifting for these people. When we had 500 people or like 700 people on Thursday night, and then Saturday, I think we probably fed 1,500. It was just people coming through there. It is a special event like none other, Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So if you're able to cook it or you're willing, man, put in the legwork, make some phone calls, and try and get in there because it is special. I was very happy to see some of the So Smokin Gooder Show alums. We had Tim Milligan walk. We had Jackie Milligan, champion Bill Purvis. I saw Grant Pinkerton, Jason Sagmiller. All these people have been on the show. I respect them as cooks, and they did what they had to do to get up on stage. It is awesome. It is awesome. And so if you're able to cook it, try and cook it, man. It is one of the best things out there. All right, I've talked long enough about my experience at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and we're going to revisit that next week. Next week, we're going to have Tim Milligan. We're going to have Jackie Milligan. They are the champion rib, champion brisket, and Tim is the grand champion of the entire event, along with Tony Tanache. He cooked the chicken with Tim's team. So Tony is going to come back and co-host next week. So we'll be talking all about Houston big time next week. But right now we want to focus on the Champions Barbecue Alliance World Championships. And it is nothing to shake a stick at. It was a bunch of champions out there on the field, people from all over the world, people from all over the country. And we're going to have Uwe Braun, the grand champion. We're going to have Danny Regan, the reserve grand champion, here in just a minute. We're going to hear about their Mount Rushmore. We're going to hear about their barbecue homies and all of that. But before we get to any of that, Ty, let's get to that sponsor role, please, sir. Shout out to the supportive and outstanding sponsors. Rectag, Smokin Magic, Cosmos Cube Products, KNR Pipeline Services, Race Crew Drum Smokers, Barbecue 321 Podcast, Texas Oil Dust, LC Barbecue, Pinkerton Texas Pit Barbecue, Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, War Pig Barbecue, Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Navy SEAL Danny Dietz Memorial Classic, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, Texas Original Charcoal Products, Got Your Six Culture, We Branded Promotions, and the Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin Gooder Show. All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for supporting this show. I appreciate it very much. I've talked long enough. I've been telling these guys I'm 10 minutes behind because I talked. Man, Houston Livestock Show already is special, and we'll talk about it more next week. And we'll have all the winners tonight later in the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics wrap-up recap. But let's get the grand champion from the Champions Barbecue Alliance World Championship Barbecue Cook-Off held in Seguin, Texas. We're talking about my favorite German cook. We're talking about Mr. Uwe Braun. Sorry, Ty.
Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing?
Uwe, can you hear me, my man?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me good?
Oh, we can hear you. You like it. I can see you well. It says grills love me.
They do.
They do. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
Good.
I love having first timers on the show because this is, we were 7 years in to get first timers on. That just means the sport is growing. That just means that people that have started a little later than we have are still, are coming along and coming in. Puro pinche 956. There he is right there, Regan Gonzalez. Welcome to the show, Uwe. I appreciate you coming on, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Had a rough day, but I'm glad to settle down and be here with you guys.
I see that big check behind you, man. That is pretty special, man. We'll get to that in just a minute, but please introduce yourself. You are a first timer to the show. Please introduce yourself. Where are you from originally, and where are you at right now, my man?
So my name is Uwe Braun, head cook of Beerbelly's Barbecue. I'm originally from Cologne, Germany. That's very important to me. And I migrated to the United States over 30 years ago.
Nice.
I lived 14 years in Florida. I got naturalized in Florida, and it's been a little over 16 years now where we live in Texas. We live in the RGV, just a little bit north of Brownsville, south of Harlingen. And when you want to go to South Potter Island, you drive right by my house.
Very nice. Very nice.
So we do a lot of cooking down here, of course. And we also started to travel a little bit more in the past couple of years. We've been competing since in our 10th year.
Nice. Okay.
We the first few years was really not serious. Just a lot of backyards, just 4 or 5 a year, if that. We have some good friends, Armando Galvan, Lucy Lopez. He's a hell of a fajita cook. He cooks the fajitas whenever he can. And Lucy helps. She helps just wherever she's needed, serving sometimes people or helping. And so a few years ago, we got a little bit more serious about the competition, and we got us a little camper or a toy hauler, if you will, and we started traveling a little bit more. And that was probably the best thing that happened to me personally. I made so many friends in Texas. I feel like I belong here. I should have been here a long time ago and meandered around and finally found my way into Texas. But it's awesome. It's just been awesome. The last couple of years been just one hell of a ride.
So you're 10 years in. I didn't realize that. That's amazing. Yeah. And how'd you find your way to South Texas? From Germany, man. And from Florida. What brought you down to South Texas? You hear me tease Roddy all the time. Anything south of Bucky's 59 is the valley. So how'd you find your way down there?
Well, so I was in the German military. I did my mandatory duty there and met a couple of good buddies there. And I went to Florida and I met my wife, my future wife. And nice. I kind of took her with me. She's from Mexico. She is from the Rio Grande, from Matamoros, Mexico, which is just right across south of the border of Brownsville. Mm-hmm. And she ended up coming to Germany with me. We got married in Germany. We lived there for 5 years and then moved into the United States. And we're still 34, 35 years strong. And she's my rock. She puts up with my shenanigans. For sure. And then, of course, she's a hell of a jackpot cook. She cooks all our jackpot, excluding the fajita. And she does very well with them.
Are you a shenanigan guy?
Yes, I like shenanigans.
I gathered that from meeting you a few times out there.
I just like having fun.
That's the name. That's the name of the game, man. Let's enjoy yourself, right? We're not here for a long time, right? So let's just enjoy ourselves for a little bit. But Uwe, this is great. I'm gonna get Danny on because you guys had a special moment together. I think it's awesome. It's really good, and I'm a little late getting Danny on, but let's get Danny on here. He's been waiting in the green room. I'm not going to touch it. My producer is on it. We're talking about my barbecue homie. I said earlier, Uwe is my favorite German cook, but this is my barbecue homie. And we're going to do the barbecue homie segment a little later in the show. Uwe, I didn't tell you, but Mount Rushmore, you've seen the show. You're a big supporter of this show. I see the shirts, and I can't thank you. I want to thank you personally for wearing those all the time. But we're going to talk about the barbecue homie and the Mount Rushmore. So, man, think about your Mount Rushmore. This is somebody that is people that are special to you, maybe helped you along the way, maybe encouraged you or inspired you, or just somehow you feel like you want to put them on your barbecue Mount Rushmore. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Danny, if my name is not part of that barbecue homie thing, we got problems, my man. But welcome to the show. This is not Danny's first time to the show. We did a show probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now, and that was a great one. But welcome to the show, Danny. It's been a long time coming again, but congratulations. How are you?
Good, buddy. I appreciate it, man. It's been a long journey, and finally kind of got that got that monkey off my back the past year or two. But this one was real special, and so yeah, back to the barbecue homie thing. You're in the running, man. You're close. You're
at least I'm in the running. I'm cool with that. We'll see how it plays out a little later in the show. What's up, Candy? How are you? Candy's checking in from Tomball VFW. Drink. Hey, we haven't said that in a while. Tomball VFW. Drink. Are you drinking? I know Danny's drinking. Uwe, are you drinking tonight?
I had a few earlier, but I'm getting up at 3. I'm heading to Austin tomorrow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, you're going to Austin Rodeo. Very nice. I'm a finalist, Corby says, for Danny's barbecue homie, hashtag barbecue homie. Well, Danny, welcome to the show. For those that don't know, Danny Regan. Danny is now an ambassador for CBA, but talk about yourself, Danny, where you're from. Everybody knows you as an LSU guy, but introduce yourself, because again, you haven't been on a couple of years, and some of these guys may not know who Mr. Danny Regan is.
They will before long, but like Uwe said, I like the shenanigans part of it. So you hang around long enough, you'll run into me. But no, I was born and raised in Kansas with my mom, my stepdad. My dad was from Louisiana, so through osmosis is where the LSU connection comes from. And then got into barbecue, I think in about 2015, somewhere through there. I actually went to my first barbecue class and didn't even own a pit. So I owned a set of Fibrox knives because I knew that's what everybody used. And then I went to a school, but took a class. But so I've been at it since 2015. Took a couple years off to get a couple of work things in line and all that. So kind of back at it again now. I think you and I, Rob, I believe we met in, I think 16. I remember the contest. It was Linda's contest there in Magnolia. Definitely remember the contest. We had quite the evening. The shenanigans, like Uwe said, the shenanigans were quite heavy that night. But I think
in the comments, 16. I highlighted her comment. Yeah, she was running the what was she running then? She was Linda's in the comments. What contest?
That was the IBCA year-end thing, added money event. Yeah, it was big. It was big. She did a phenomenal job putting on her first contest, but it was really good. So that's where you and I actually met.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of hammered out ever since.
We'll tell that story a little later for those that don't know. We got to tell that story. Jay Bird would appreciate that, but sure. So Danny, you've been hitting it hard lately, as Uwe has. Like Uwe said, he wasn't taking it serious early. I feel like I don't know that I feel like that, because you said you took a class before you even started barbecue, and you took one of the, if you want to share that, you took one of the well-known classes at the time.
Sure. Actually, I've taken several classes, not ashamed to say any of that. I took my very first class was Rod Gray's Pellet Envy. It was up in Kansas City. So I flew to Kansas City. And like I said, I didn't even own a pit. I just knew that barbecue was what I wanted to do. I came from a quick background about me. I rode bulls competitively for about 8 years. Very, very competitive. In high school, I was an athlete. So got into bull riding and rode that semi-pro for about 8 years till I was 33. Got hurt pretty good, so kind of had to hang that up. And then I got into competitive four-wheeler racing. Won a national title in 2008 racing four-wheelers.
What? I did not know that. Awesome.
Dude, I went broke doing that. You think this is expensive? Try having $100,000 four-wheeler and blowing the motor out of the damn thing. So, Kevin, blowing the motor every weekend, man. So, but yeah, that kind of went south. And then I was actually just watching television and knew I needed a competitive thing to do in my life. And barbecue Pitmasters came on, and I was like, And it's really odd because, as you know, Rob, I do not watch television. Unless it's sports, I don't watch movies. I don't watch anything. So that came on, and it was just odd that I would happen to watch it that day. And I was like, that looks pretty cool. So the next week, same time, turned in, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. So looked up, and actually Rod Gray had just won that on that series. So I Google Pellet Envy, and boom, his class pops up. Has a class in like 2 weeks. And I was like, so I messaged him. I said, hey, you got any empty spots? He goes, I got one. I said, I'll take it. So booked a flight, flew to Kansas City, kind of been doing it ever since.
Awesome. That's very special. Uwe, you kind of have a not so much similar, but you started 10 years ago. Talk about, let's fast forward now. You guys are pretty serious competition cooks, man. You guys go at it pretty much every weekend. Uwe, like you just mentioned, you just won that one 2 weeks ago. You're going to the Austin Rodeo. Talk about an evolution from where you start. I'm gonna start with Uwe to now. You know, let's fast forward to like recently though. You're doing a bunch of cook-offs right now, and what does that mean to you? What is this? How is this sport impacted your life as far as what you do each and every weekend, but kind of your competitive vibe?
Well, I mean, it made me a better cook at home. I pay a little bit more attention to detail. But yeah, it keeps me busy. I mean, busy. You guys know competitive barbecue. You don't just buy some meat and throw it on the pit. There's a lot of details, trimming, sauces, injections, timeline. I mean, there's a lot to it that keeps me busy. I go through my process like pretty much all week. I do a little bit every day, so I don't have too much to do at one time, and get the trailer ready. That today it killed me because I had a bad day. I worked late a little bit, or later than I wanted to, and flooded the yard with the damn water deal. And
I thought you're in water conservation.
Oh my God. But so yeah, I enjoy it more. You know, my biggest goal in the barbecue was always, you're never going to be the best. At any given day, there's somebody better than you. And so I realized that early. I don't want to be the best, but if I can be up there with some of these guys occasionally, man, I'm good. I am good. And so my goal is that to just show up to these cook-offs knowing that if all my stars align, I can win this thing. That's what I've always asked for, and I think I achieved that now. And I'm happy with what I'm doing, and probably get blown out in Austin, but that's fine. But I know I can go there knowing that, hey, if everything goes right and I have a little luck on my side, I might be able to win this thing.
So let's talk about the CBA World Championship. That's a big deal, man. That is a world championship. You've got a lot of quality cookers from along the world. I saw, obviously the ones that we have here in Texas. Phil was there. Bill was there. It
was huge.
Fred was there. Oh, Fred wasn't cooking, but just a lot of the cooks that you cook against each and every weekend were at the CBA. Where Kevin Hernandez is in the comments. He was there. It was a big contest, right? It's a strong contest to go out there and to compete with those guys. And Uwe, I'll get to Danny in just a minute, but Uwe, let's talk about, who all was there, what you were thinking going in there. We'll talk about this specific contest, but what a huge win for you. And we'll talk about your cook here in just a minute, but what does that mean to you to win this thing? Because of all the teams that were out there, the CBA World Championship, second annual, what happened to Kevin Hernandez last year? This propelled him to what he did the entire year. Becoming a world champion is a big deal. Not everybody can say they're a world champion. Uwe, you can.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has already. It has maybe not sunken in yet. I will tell you, I went over there with zero expectation. I was not intimidated by who's all there. I don't get intimidated anymore. I changed my mindset. I approach cooks in a different way since August. And I strategized a little bit. I said, my ribs and my pork, they're hitting lately pretty good. And, a cook-off like that turns into a crapshoot usually. I mean, it's going to be spread out all over the place. And, Kid Poke and at the Smokin' Under Rio, not one single walk and 10th overall. My buddy Santiago Bernal, not one single walk, 5th overall. So I expected that a little bit. And I thought, okay, so look, I don't know what these other guys do, but if I can just get my ribs solid, my pork, and my chicken, my brisket, they're lacking a little bit lately, but if they're still there to support those two meats, and I thought if I can get them up there to support those two meats, then who knows what's going to happen here. And sure as hell did that. All 4 meats in the top 20. And I didn't expect that at all. I really thought Reggie had it there. He's a strong he had 2 walks, and he's a very strong pork cook, and I killed him. Thank God for me.
Hey, I'm not laughing because of that, but just the statement. But man, it is. One category can kill you. Hey, as I just talked about at the Houston Livestock Show, one category will tank you. Danny, I'm going to ask you the same question. You going into that contest, what were your expectations? I know you don't get intimidated, and I appreciated Uwe saying that, because you can't go into a contest feeling like you're behind the 8 ball. You got to go out there with your chest out and have a little confidence in there. But what were you thinking going into that? You and I talk all the time, strategies and whatnot, but that was a big contest, bro.
Sure. And like you say, I wasn't intimidated going into it. One of the very first bull riding schools I went to was taught by a world champion named Gary LeFew. And Gary is a multi-time world champion, one of the legends that's ever done it. And in his class, he said, every rodeo you go to, you have to have a mental approach. You have to think that you are the stud horse with the fuzzy balls. You are the biggest cat in the pen. And that's kind of how, like Uwe said, since August, he's kind of approached that, similar, so to speak. Kind of the same way the past year or so, I've kind of accepted the fact that maybe, I belong in the group, because we all go through, it's very cyclical. We got to go through a lot of ups and downs. And there's times that you doubt whether you can do this. You're like, man, what am I doing? I'm wasting thousands of dollars. I'm doing all this. But I've kind of taken the laid back approach, not really laid back, but a different approach of, okay, I do belong here. I don't care who's here. What I'm going to do is cook my food, and I'm going to present what I cook. Might not be first, might not be last, but it's what I do, and I can adjust it from there. So before, a lot of times you're comparing yourself to whoever's there, whoever's winning, or, whoever's showing up, and not being intimidated, but you're like, all right, I wonder what Fred's doing. I wonder what Roddy's doing. I wonder what Bill's doing, stuff like that. And actually, this year I've just said, you know what, I'm going to cook what I have studied, what I've put on my papers, what I put in my recipes, and I'm going to present that. And that's going to be what I bring to the table. So it's funny because Uwe, I didn't know him from, a blade of grass. And we pull in and we're talking about the wind, and he pulls in right behind me. And I said, hey, man, good to meet you. And he actually backs his trailer right up to mine, and we're talking about which way the wind is going to blow. So I was kind of strategizing for the wind blowing. I wanted to blow into my firebox, stuff like that. And that's the first time I'd ever met him. I didn't know who he was, anything like that, and ended up being 1 and 2. So
who knew what was about to come?
Yeah. But, cool. We had a good time. That's how we met before it even started, So, but no, I kind of, this contest, I went through the entire contest every single day in my head from start to finish. And what I mean by that is, coming from an athletic background and competitive background, the mental approach is huge. I have three cousins and an uncle that have played professional baseball, and they talk about how the mental coaches come to them in the locker rooms and prepare them mentally. So this week, or the week leading up to the contest, I went through everything. Now, everything I do is on a spreadsheet, so I can't tell you. I don't go through the time, the exact minute, but I went through, chicken goes on. After chicken goes on, ribs are going to go on, and then, pork and, whatever it was. So I went through every day. I'd be driving down the road and just thinking about the cook and just being calm and relaxed and thinking about what I'm going to do. I knew the wind was going to blow to the north, so I'm going to set up like this, and just kind of had a different mental approach to it like this or like that. So leading up to the contest was probably the best prepared I've ever been. And like Uwe said, I was going to present my food, and whoever else was there, if they beat me, they just beat me.
If you guys have questions for these two world champions, we got Uwe and then Danny, a reserve grand champion over at the Champions Barbecue Alliance event. Put them in the comments. We'll ask him. But Uwe, are you that detailed like Danny is? He has spreadsheets and whatnot. Is that something that you?
Let's back up real quick. I'm only that detailed, Rob, because I'm dumb. I have to have everything written down. I have to think. If you've been in my trailer, all my recipes are on a Word document and all my timelines are on an Excel spreadsheet. If I don't, I'll be goofing off, drinking a beer, having shots with, with whoever, and then I'll forget about, well, what the hell do I do next? So I have to have that.
Is the 10 a.m. beer on your spreadsheet?
Of course, Rob and I have a beer at 10 a.m. Rob, Jess, and I have a beer at 10 a.m. every contest. But
absolutely,
if I don't, I'll forget what I'm doing. It's a
so Uwe, are you that detailed? Because I think detailed, is a very important thing. I'm not that detailed like Danny is, but I feel like the more you do, the more the routine becomes easier. But if you're not doing, like, if somebody's listening right now, they're not doing as many cook-off as some of the guys that are doing it each and every weekend, for sure, put a spreadsheet on there, write it on put a dry erase marker and put it on your wall somewhere, because that's a big deal. 10:06. Uwe, are you that detailed?
Somewhat. So since August, I've been starting to take pre-notes. What cook-off I'm going to, what the judges may be like, and what I can cook that gives me the best that I can do. And I'll put that to paper. I note everything on the sheet, and then after the cook-off, I finish it up, how I did it, and what went bad, and what turned out good, and then I also even put down the scores. So I can go back and read that, and but yeah, in Seguin, I had to make me a timeline because the cook turning times, they were all messed up, like hour and a half, but everything. No, that wasn't the Smoking on the Rio, actually.
No,
that was
Smoking on the Rio. Yeah.
Because I don't usually, I cook with my head anymore, or by feel. I know what I need to do when. But the Smoking on the Rio, there was 4 meets, hour and a half, because so many teams, but all pushed up an hour. ChickN was at 11, and that screwed up a bunch of stuff. And I called it. I said, I wonder how many teams are going to go and turn the brisket in at 3, because it was at 3:30, and I couldn't even finish it. There was 4 teams already walking. That was bad turning times, and I'm glad I did the timeline. And I do a timeline for Austin. Austin brisket is at 5:30. I'm lost without it. I need to look at it and just to help me. This is what I need to do now, and then just go with it. But yeah. It helps.
Austin briskets at 5:30. I think it's a completely different timeline.
Oh, I don't know what they're thinking over there. It's 1:30, 3:30, 5:30, 2 hours in between, and the awards on Sunday.
And the awards definitely are on Sunday. That's the way they roll over there at Austin. But yeah, so timelines are important. We just experienced that this weekend at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We had a 11:15, a 1:15, and a 3:15, so 2 hour window. So that does definitely mess with cooks that are used to their structured times and whatnot. But you just have to adjust, man. So you're going to Austin this weekend. You're gonna do fine. How'd you do it Smoking on the Rio with those adjusted timelines?
Did fine. Cooked different recipes. I tailored it a little bit towards the Winter Texans. We did last year 10th overall. I wanted to do better.
Just in, they moved brisket to 9:30 p.m.
Don't believe that ass.
I don't believe that.
I'm cool with that. I can sleep till 2 o'clock. I can sleep till 2 o'clock and be good with that. Got to the Pit Father Barbecue, Eddie Morales. He was at Houston on Champions Row. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, we did all right in the Smoking on the Rio. 17th overall out of 180 teams.
That's solid. That is solid. You should feel 100% confident in what you're doing right now, Uwe. 17th there at Smoking on the Rio, grand champion over at the Champions Barbecue Alliance, World Championship, which is amazing. And you haven't cooked. Did you cook last weekend? I don't think you did, right?
No, I had continuing education.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I saw that.
And water preservation class.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so you're going to be at Austin Rodeo. Danny, what's your cook-off schedule right now, my man?
Going to so I'm taking this weekend off, and then I'll head up to Weatherford. After that, not quite certain, but I'm gonna kind of pick and choose. You and I talked about this. Gonna kind of pick and choose where I go this year, based upon several factors. But it's definitely the next one is definitely gonna be Weatherford.
Okay, you guys are seasoned cooks, man. We got some teams. I'm looking at some new names. We see new barbecue names all the time here in our sport, which is amazing. I love seeing that. We talk about it all the time. We love having new guests on the show. Somebody that is, maybe feeling like pretty good, they've won a contest or two, or then the next weekend they get, they're sitting in 18th out of 35 teams. What advice would you give to somebody like that has had a taste of success, and then maybe 2 weeks later, their next cook-off, they're mid-pack? Danny, go first, Danny.
Yeah. So, man, that's a broad question, but at the same time, you learn with your eyes and your ears, not your mouth. So how many times have we all been gathered around a circle and, maybe Uwe said, man, I tried this weekend and it worked, or it didn't work. Or you said, hey man, I really had great success using, Bill's rub or whatever it is, just learn with your eyes and your ears, because there's a lot of times we're all just gathered around shooting the shit, and there's a lot of good information floating around of just the guys talking, but my first thing would be, if anybody hasn't ever taken a class, is take a class. It's going to cut several $1,000s off of your payment schedule. But if you have, or whatever, just you've got to kind of pay your dues. The barbecue gods they're out there, and you're not going to step in and win a world championship on your first contest, but you got to pay your dues and kind of see what works. And, don't be hesitant if something's not working to kind of tweak it or, change it. That's what I like about CBA, is it gives you where you place from, first to last. If you're 11th and didn't get your name called, then maybe you don't have to do much besides just a little tweak. If you're last every contest, maybe it's time to think about a different recipe. But if somebody's had the taste of it, just don't get discouraged. We've all been there. We've all had to pay our dues, and just kind of learn to make those little adjustments of what wins. When I first started, I cooked very, very spicy because I like spicy stuff. I quickly learned that when you walk into a judge's room and it's all 90-year-old women, you're like, oops, I'm last. So you learn what the best thing to win is, not learning what to do. It's learning what not to do, because we've all cooked too spicy, too salty, too overdone, too underdone, whatever. Phil Regan says this all the time. No twos. We don't want any twos. We don't want anything too spicy, too hot. No twos. So learn what not to do. Don't worry about what to do, because there's 1,000 different recipes that can win chicken, 1,000 or more. And you don't have to copy any one of them to still put your 1,001 into that mix, but you need to know what not to do.
Yeah. Uwe?
Yeah. So I agree with Danny, what he said. I mean, it's for somebody new in the competition world, you're not going to win. I mean, you got to be really lucky. But I don't think you're going to have the consistency. And I'm going to tell you personally, I was very inconsistent for a long time. I would always, if I wasn't hitting, I would always adjust and switch. And I was always seeking me my recipes as the problem. And
real quick, I don't mean to cut you off. Ty, come on in here, Ty. I told you I've been drinking water. I gotta go kick the tires, but I'll be back. Finish that up, Uwe, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. So over the last 10 years, I have quite a few recipes. I have books, different, and so it's experience. So now I'm going back, and this didn't work, this doesn't work. So I go back, like, what worked at some point, and that's what I've been doing. Since August, I've looked back. I took several classes. For me, it never worked cooking the recipe straight up from a class. Not one time did I get lucky. And you know what? I'm thankful for that, because I was able to make it my own. I'm using my own twists and tweaks, I've been running my own brisket recipe, I think in my third or fourth year, with my own homemade glaze. and the same thing now. I'm doing my own chicken, my own rib and pork. There's bits and pieces from certain classes, but I kind of was able to combine it all to where it's just doing okay. It's doing great for me. So,
right.
But yes, I agree with Danny. I would say get a class. I wish I'd have taken my first class 2 years earlier. I would have saved a lot of time, just because you'll get so much overwhelming knowledge, and it's like wow, it's just little things. It's just unbelievable, and that's what I actually do recommend. I get approached quite a bit, and I tell people, man, look into a class. You got Barbecue Champs Academy now that he's got them on tap there. Look at what you're cooking on. You have a drum cooker. Look at that. You're an offset cooker. Look at that. And then you got, of course, Phil and doing his classes, and I'm not sure who else does them right now. I mean, the information is there. And it pays for itself. I think I really do.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing I was going to say with first of all, Danny, I appreciate the competitive sports analysis from it. I definitely do the same thing, being in the military. And Uwe, thank you very much for your service to your country. I myself, I actually trained with some of the German army. I got the German Schützensnare way back in 2001.
The irony is, I was actually doing more service to the U.S. military after boot camp.
There you go.
God bless y'all both.
Thank you very much for your service. But what I was going to ask is, what was the biggest thing you picked up, or what was the thing that clicked with you, Uwe, that made you realize I can do this, I can be consistent after you did your sheets to where you're doing things at a certain time? When did it actually click to know that you were going to, be consistent? You're going to have your flavor profile. It's not someone else's. It's literally yours. Like you said, that's coming along now, but when did that start happening?
It was in August of last year when we went GC'd Pleasanton the year before, and I told my wife we should go back there just to show good sportsmanship. And
right.
And that's when I said, look, I'm going to put down, because chicken is my nemesis, and so but we did well in Austin last year with chicken, with the thighs. I'm doing thighs. So I said, okay, this is the best chance I have with chicken. And I just wrote it down. And then I went back to my recipes and boom, GC'd that thing again. And then from mid-August to mid-November last year, in 3 months, I hit 3 GCs and 3 RGCs. Like boom, boom, boom. And all over, like in the Valley, I was in Ingleside, I was South San Antonio. So I know it's just not one area that likes the flavor. It's hitting everywhere. And so I said, I'm running this. I'm running this until I fall off the face of the earth. I mean, and the only time I didn't run it was the Smoking on the Rio. And then I went back. I ran it again and ran it at him, and it worked again. And
did you free? I think Uwe froze.
I think he's a little frozen. There he is. He's back. He's back.
So people ask me, how did your cook go? And I can't answer that, because I'm not the one that's going to score the only thing that I'm looking for is I take a chicken, I bite it, and I'm like, okay, it's as good as it was, like it was in Seguin. That's all I can do. That I'm happy that I left everything on the table. I do the same thing with ribs, with everything. So I tell you, okay, my cook was good. I'm hitting with what I did in the past, and if I'm not hitting, I'm not mad at the judges. They liked somebody else's barbecue better, and then I'll pack up and we'll go to the next one. And I'll cook it again.
Totally agree. And
since I've been doing that, I'm telling you, it works. But you gotta have good recipe. It's consistency is really the key to be successful in competition barbecue, in my opinion. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody's looking for, and that's so hard to discover. You know what I mean?
Right. And Danny, with the sports psychology aspect of it, was it about when you first started? Were you always where you had to write everything down, or did that progress?
Well,
is that something that came along after you started cooking?
Yeah, Ty, good question. So I've always written everything down. I wasn't maybe, like Uwe said, I wasn't maybe as consistent. I kind of bounced around. And that's one thing I used to get on Rob's ass about, is that every weekend he'd try something completely different. And I saw a huge change in Rob and his success once he decided to nail things down and just make minor tweaks. But when I first started off, I had the recipes from the classes I went to, and I thought, boom, I had the recipes, I'm going to win because I got these world champion recipes. It doesn't work like that. You've got to learn to cook. Travis Clark, when I took Travis's class, Travis said, I'm going to give you the recipes to a T. You can't beat me because you can't outcook me. And like Uwe said, it's consistency. I read a deal the other day on LinkedIn. This guy said, I can't guarantee you being consistent will make you a winner, but I can guarantee you if you're not consistent, you will not win. And that's a big thing, like he talked about. We have to be consistent. And some of the
definitely
tweaks
applies to barbecue right there, what you just said.
Barbecue, life, your job,
Sure.
if you're in outside sales, if you're a business owner, whatever, that statement is huge in one small paragraph. But, you know, tie back to your question, I've always followed a timeline, and nowadays it's kind of a suggestion, but it's what I do approximately when I do it, just because, like I said, I think I'll forget a step if I don't, but I'm consistent. I know that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to change from week to week. I don't change if I go to Weatherford or if I go in the Valley. I might make a small tweak. Like for me, I think where I'm at in my career, and by no means am I the best, but a change for me might be half a bottle of water versus a full bottle of water in my au jus. And I actually took some notes here for the last few contests. And my brisket au jus, I used to use a half a bottle of water. And I was like, man, this is too salty a couple contests ago. So I ended up using 2 bottles of water for the au jus whenever I put it on before I box it. A couple of 1 or 2 contests ago, I was like, man, about a half a bottle of water is about all this needs. So that's just a minor tweak. So I'll go anywhere from like 2 or 3 bottles of water to maybe a half, but it's just the small tweaks. You know, we're not totally taking these rubs and throwing them in the trash this week and something new and all this stuff. I'm just barely tweaking what I do now, but I'm consistent of what I do.
And you have to do it that way. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not robots. Bring the recipes that you cooked, and then you feel the just. You have to wait. Like in Seguin, I cook on an offset on a pit maker, and my cook started good, and then all of a sudden my thermometer is sitting at 260. When it does that, it's like, good grief, I don't have airflow. I turned it, and the wind was starting to blow really weird there, and I ended up cooking really weird with the pit completely. I mean, it was a weird angle, but boop, all of a sudden she was running again. I'm like, okay. Hopefully that didn't hurt me because my ribs were on there open. I thought, I screwed the ribs up, but I got lucky.
So I'm going to tease the Gooder gang that's still watching right now. Uwe, what is your top category? If I was going to ask you, what is your top category? What would be the most confident you are in right now?
Number 1 in pork in the CBA ranking.
Number 1 in pork. All right. Uwe Braun, Danny, Regan. Same question.
Yeah, no doubt. My ribs. I'd put my ribs up against anybody's. I'm very confident.
Nice. All right.
I'm also very confident in pork, but it let me down in Seguin. But I'd put my ribs up against anybody's.
So I'm gonna tease that. I'm gonna ask y'all one important ingredient, or not ingredient, but one important thing that you feel that makes you very confident in your categories you just mentioned. So pork and ribs. We're going to do the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap. You guys can go check the tires like I just did here a minute ago. Danny, I feel like you're ready to go. And Uwe's been drinking water, so he's probably ready to go as well. We're going to do the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap and the Briscoe Ranch cook-off at the Crossroads upcoming event segment. And we'll come back to you. We still got the Mount Rushmore. We still got the BBQ Homies, and we still got a lot of show left here to do. But Ty's going to drop you down here in just a minute. We're going to go over the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap and the other things, and we'll bring you back. So think about what makes your ribs, you so confident in your ribs, and Uwe, same thing with your pork.
2 minutes.
You got about 5 minutes, Danny. You got about 5 minutes, boys. We'll bring you right back. Danny already said water. Yeah, that's it. Just water. Just water, Eddie Morales, the Pit Father Barbecue. That's all what makes him confident in his ribs. But we're gonna pull those up. I don't know if Ty can pull them up. I can, but Ty, you can play some music. Ty did it. That's my man right there. All right, we're gonna do the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap. Over in the Champions Barbecue Alliance this weekend, we had the Sacred Heart Feed the Herd. The grand champion was Vincent Regino. He's in the comments tonight. From Reggie Q Barbecue, thank you, Serge. The RGC was Curtis McBlain. He's also in the comments from Mullet Shakers. I love that team. I had a hat in here. I've got a hat. He gave us a hat over there. The WBCA Red, White, and Barbecue, the grand champion Fidel Sanchez. I saw him earlier from Smoky Cattle. Marcio is in the comments. That's another world champion, ladies and gentlemen. Let me highlight him real quick. Marcio is in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Appreciate you. RGC was Daniel Garcia from STX Smokers. And at the Matagorda County Cook-Off, grand champion Eric Riojas from Loud and Heavy Barbecue. The RGC was Steven Roizechi from Full Belly Smokers. That is the Matagorda County. Over in the Outlaw pew, 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 pew. There. Case right there. I love it. Irving Elks Lodge. The grand champion was Mike Steele, the host of the Barbecue Champs Academy. Congratulations, Mike. Pigs and Cows Gone Wild. The RGC was Ricky Bocanegra from We Dem Boys. And over in the KCBS world, 2 years ago, me and my buddy Phil Breeden, we traveled over to Yuma, Arizona for this deal, the best in the Southwest. I think the winner gets an automatic bid. I mean, I assume that's why we traveled across the country down to basically Los Angeles for the best in the Southwest. Yuma, Arizona, the grand champion, Meat Candy Q in the RGC, was Big Papa Smokers. And we'll come back to the next slide here in just a minute, but I'm gonna showcase the upcoming event segment over to the Champions Barbecue Alliance. Trust the dust, Fidel says. There he is right there, grand champion. Trust the dust. Rodeo Austin is happening this weekend. That is a state championship in Austin, Texas. We got Freedom Fest. That is where my wife will be this weekend. She is the event rep over in Concan, Texas. And over in San Antonio, the Texas Trophy Hunters Bucks and Barbecue over in San Antonio, Texas, happening this weekend in the Champions Barbecue Alliance. Over in Outlaw, pew, 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 pew. There. We got the Rattlesnake Roundup, which is a state championship at the Walnut Spring, Texas, and the KCJLS Barbecue Cook-Off in Kaufman, Texas. Thank you, Serge. Appreciate that. That's my follow team right there. Yeah, I think he has to say that. And the KCBS of the Sippin' Swine. I've heard about this contest. It's in Lawrenceville, Georgia. That's a Sippin' Swine contest. And I think that's it right now. All right, let's circle back to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. What is Outlaw? That's an organization. Eddie Morales, that's a sanctioning body here in Texas. All right, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo World's Championship Barbecue Cook-Off held on the grounds at NRG Stadium. You heard me talk about it. We'll be talking about it more next week when we have Jackie Milligan and Tim Milligan and co-host Tony Tanache. But we're gonna go over the champion winners right now. The junior champion, Shylin Keith, over at Charity's twin sister. I don't know all three, but I do know my kid, Eli Arocha, was 4th overall over the junior championship. The champion chicken. No, let's go back. Champion Open was Ernest Contreras from Smokin' Ease Barbecue. The champion Dutch Oven, my friend right there, sitting in the corner there, Grant Pinkerton from Pinkerton's Barbecue, cooking for the SNS Club. He was the champion Dutch Oven. All right, let's go back to champion chicken. Do we have Big Bill? Do we have Big Bill in the house? Ty? Let's see. I think we might. There he is. Big Bill Purvis, champion chicken, cooking for the San Antonio rodeo winner, chicken fried barbecue. Congratulations, Bill Purvis. Champion ribs, the queen right now, the barbecue queen, in my opinion, right now, the barbecue queen. If somebody else is a barbecue queen, you tell me who it is. But right now, for my money, it's Jackie Milligan from Team Chupacabra. She was cooking for Team Pitmaker this weekend at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And how about this? How special is this? Not only did Jackie win team or champion ribs, but her husband, Tim Milligan, you guys know him. Y'all tease him as a dishwasher. He is no longer, you cannot no longer say dishwasher Tim Milligan. That is a champion brisket cook, Tim Milligan from Team Chupacabra 2. It's not 1, he's 2 because his wife Jackie is Team Chupacabra 1. But he was cooking for Taste of South Texas. We're talking about Tim Milligan, champion brisket. So those were the champion cooks up there. You know, a lot of Gooder Gang members or So Smokin Gooder Show alums got to walk on stage. But all right, we're just talking about champions right now. All right, so the RGC, exactly. She's the queen right now. Ashley, thanks for checking in. RGC Jason Sagmiller from Race Crew Drum Smokers. He is a sponsor of the show. I think we have his logo somewhere in the comments right there. But how about Jason Sagmiller, Mr. Wu from our Race Crew Drum Smokers, but the grand champion overall at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo World Championship Barbecue Cook-Off. I know this is not a stage. This is just this Bullhorn Barbecue headquarters over here. But the grand champion, how about my man Tim Milligan from Team Chupacabra, cooking for the Taste of South Texas, along with the co-host for next week, going to be Tony Tanache. What a special moment at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Barbecue World Championship Barbecue Cook-Off. My man, y'all give it up for them. Give them some proper love. They will be on the show next week. Next week, we're going to have Tim, we're going to have Jackie, and we're going to have Tony Tanache, and I'll reach out to Bill so we can have all 3 champions for just a moment to get them on there. But we're going to spend some time with Tim and Jackie because what a special moment for that husband and wife couple. I mean, that's amazing. All right, so let's play another video, Ty, from let's play some Kevin Fowler, and then I'll be ready to bring back our guests Danny, Regan, and Uwe Braun. All right, that was not Kevin Fowler, but hey, they were amazing as well. And no, there was not a fight at our tent. There was a fight at, can I say the name? Bottomless Pit Cookers. They had a fight over there, and it's all over social media. Grant Pinkerton's in the comments right now. I just saw it. Where'd it get right there? Almost missed that list, but by God, I got on it. Yeah, for Dutch Oven. Grant, what was the other category you walked in? Congratulations, Grant Pinkerton from Pinkerton's Pit Barbecue right there. He was on the list for sure. Is that live at your house? Nope. That was at the Half Fast Cookers Tent C915, one of the best parties probably on the lot. I heard that somebody had TG Shepherd, Bellamy Brothers. That was great. Probably, I don't know, 25 years ago. But man, we had Kevin Fowler. We had, I don't know who that was. Danny. Let's bring Danny in here. Let's bring Uwe back. What'd you think of that Zydeco band, Danny?
Love it, man. That's where my roots come from is the Zydeco, and that's my walk-up song. Obviously, it's a Zydeco song. So actually, that's a good song they sang right there. I know that they didn't write that song, but that's a really, really classic song down in Zydeco land.
Uwe, what is your walk-up song, my man?
It's Beer Run by Todd Snyder.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Stupid, but it's fitting. And I changed it last year, and I got yelled at by so many people, so I brought it back.
Andy Reyes, what you smoking? He says, I heard Taylor Swift was at Seguin. Yeah, Danny and I got a first-hand look at the Taylor Swift video or show from Josh Hale and Eddie Morales, the Pitfather Barbecue. What'd you think of that, Danny?
Man, I haven't slept since.
You haven't slept since. All right, so HLSR. What do you guys think of that? You guys aren't cooking there, but what does that look like from outside looking in?
Man, to me, it looks amazing. It's and I've been there with you. I was there with you last year, hanging out, and been there a few years, and it's let's say the ultimate party for barbecue. I haven't been to the Royal in years since it was down in the bottoms, down there in Kansas City, Missouri. But I know that's a big one. It's always been a big one. But man, here in Texas, that's the ultimate party, man. That's the ultimate cook. That's the ultimate, kind of everything. So I would love to be there someday, and would love talk to Bill Purvis today. And Bill's, obviously headed to Austin to try to win the Austin rodeo, which gets him a automatic bid there, an automatic bid to San Antonio and stuff like that. So I would love to be on Champions Road next to those guys one of these days.
Uwe, what'd you think about looking at that event?
Bucket list event, San Antonio and Houston. It's just, I live too far south. I don't have any contacts there. But then again, you don't know what's up in the future, what the future holds. But yeah, both of them, I would like to do at least one time.
Like I mentioned earlier, I would do what I said. Reach out to some of the teams who are in the, bottom half, because a lot of those guys are legacy teams. They're older, probably, do not care about the actual competition. So reach out to those teams and say, let them know who you are. And say, Uwe, I'm a world champion. I just won the champions.
Great idea.
Yeah. And then Danny, I'm a reserve grand champion of there. And a lot of them do not care. Like I said, they are just there to host people that come into their tent and have a party. They really don't care about the competition there. Maybe they haven't won in a number of years. And if you can say, hey, man, I'll try to get you on that stage, that's a big feather in their cap when they have one of those finalist banners, man. That is a big deal.
And I know, Robin, you and I talked about this the other day. Some of those teams put their budget is $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And they're there just to host from Wednesday through Saturday.
Look at what I just showed. That all those 3 videos are from my tent, Half Fast Cookers. Again, shout out to Half Fast Cookers, Tuna and Todd, and the whole crew over them for hosting me over there, and for me and Diane to go out there and compete and do that. And last year we were blessed to. This was their 14th year. Last year we were able to get them on the stage for the very first time. It didn't work out this year, but next year might be our year. You never know. So just go out there and ask, man. That's all you can do. If you really want to cook it, doesn't hurt to ask, right? Go up there and find out who the head cook is, and say, or the person in charge, and say, hey, I'd love to do it. And all they can say is no. So
yeah, true.
Big time. All right. So all right, let's do the Mount Rushmores, guys. Y'all ready to do this?
Sure.
All right. So we'll go with Danny because he was the RGC. So you get first. and then Uwe will ask you next. But again, the Mount Rushmore, for those that don't know, that watch the show, and all you guys know pretty much, but we ask about the Mount Rushmore, people that have, maybe helped you along the way, inspired you, people you look up to, people that, that maybe we're not thinking about, but who's on your Mount Rushmore? You got 4 people, and you got 1 down on the trail in the gift shop, Danny.
We're gonna do Mount Rushmore and BBQ Homie at the same time. We're gonna
we'll do BBQ Homie afterwards.
Okay, so we'll do
And
Mount Rushmore.
Bitch.
You're still in the running. I haven't tallied the votes yet. Oh shit! But and this is in no particular order. I did have to think about this earlier, but I'm gonna throw a big shout out to Fred Robles. Fred put Texas barbecue on the map.
Not yet.
Not only in Texas, but nationwide, maybe worldwide, whatever. So. And then Fred, also the president of the CBA, but Fred, just as a cook, I took Fred's class. Fred has got to be on the Mount Rushmore for influential in Texas for sure. Then I'm going to throw Phil and Bill both in there. Those are 2 guys that I rely on heavily, that are just very good friends. I can ask anything at any time. I talked to Bill Purvis over breakfast this morning. Asked Bill a pretty detailed question. He, without a doubt, answered it. No reluctancy whatsoever. Phil, anytime that I have a detailed question or anything whatsoever, I can call Phil up and talk to him. So those 2 are going to be in there for me because they're always so willing to help, and just good friends and good people in general. And then Robbie Dobby, I'm gonna throw you in there too. You're somebody that you and I talk about barbecue probably 4 days a week. We talk about recipes, we talk about timelines, we talk about what to do, what not to do. You and I talk so much about barbecue. You're not afraid to tell me, where I'm screwing up. Same thing, coming to you and not afraid to tell you, hey, don't put those burn-ins in the box, they suck. We kind of really rely on each other. We always set up next to each other, so that's always been a good one. And then my gift shop is going to be Travis Clark. Travis is somebody, I took his class probably 16 or 17. I can still call or text Travis this day with a question, and he will get back to me immediately, no questions asked. Hey, try this, or hey man, I remember struggling with that 10 years ago, like what you're doing. Why don't you try running this? Travis is my gift shop guy for sure.
Bro, that's a great one, and did not expect me to be on there, but thank you very much, man. What a great list, Ty. Put that list back up there. You can come on, Ty, and rehash who he has up there, bub.
Oh, I'm going to put it up here. I got Here's the interesting thing that I see is, like, you see Fred Robles, Phil Breeden, Bill Purvis. You see all these names come up on different people's, but everyone that puts people on their list usually puts them on there for a different specific reason. Like, I put you on my Mount Rushmore because of the mentorship that you had with kids. It really had nothing to do with your cooking ability, because I have no idea. I know you're good, but I had no idea. But he puts you on because of you helping him cook. I put you on the Mount Rushmore because of you mentoring the next generation. So that is amazing in and of itself right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has their own reason why they do it. And somebody else is, somebody's helped you, maybe somebody that's not a friend of theirs or whatever, or not a inspiration or something like that. But Danny, thank you very much. It did not know you were going to do that. But all right, let's go to Uwe. Let's bring Uwe on by himself, Mr. Ty. All right, Uwe, we're gonna talk about your Mount Rushmore, my man.
So mine are in chronological order, the way they entered into my barbecue life, if you will.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna start with Hector Villanueva from Killer V Barbecue. When we started cooking, there was a few cook-offs right off the bat where we ended up close to each other, and he had always had encouraging words like, just keep at it, and then the barbecue church. That's another unique thing I like going to. So he's definitely my my first one. My second one is Fred Robles. I know he's on a lot of lists, but I can't leave him out. When I started barbecuing, he was just all the contests he was. Everybody looked up and like, wow, he's just such a God-given talent that this guy just makes it look easy. And I seen him cooking with the pull behind Jambo and a couple of pop-ups with his daughter. Still make it work, you know. And and he's a good guy. Does a great job as CBA president. So I need him there. And then my third one is Arnie Segovia. That's the first class that I took. And we became friends. My wife and his wife, they talk every time they see each other. They catch up. And like I said earlier, I wished I'd have taken that class 2 years prior. It would have saved me a lot of hassle. So also a good guy. What he does for barbecue and did for barbecue is just tremendous. And then I'm stuck on fourth and the gift shop, and I don't know which way, what I want to do there. I will have to give it to Phil Breeden, just for his consistency over the past 4, 5, 6 years. Just, I don't know how many Cook of the Year he won for IBCA, for CBA, how many runner-up. I mean, he's always there, and I respect that. That respects the hell out of me. And then I have Bill Purvis. For one simple fact. First of all, he's a really good guy, hell of a cook. But I don't know if some of you know that he qualified for the Jack last year by winning 7. But he spread it out over 4 sanctioning bodies. I don't know if that has ever been done. And I mean, that's also, I respect the hell out of that. I mean, that's something that's wow. Wow, very well, very good. I mean, and those are my 5 guys. Wherever you want to put them.
That's
I
a
can
solid
tell you,
list,
man,
my man.
Bill is such a great guy, such an ambassador for the sport. Bill will answer, you know, and people like us don't go up to him and say, hey, what's your exact chicken recipe or your brisket recipe? But Bill will tell you anything you want to hear. And I called him this morning, and him and I were chatting about something specific. And I said, man, you know, did I wake you up? He goes, no, man, I'm eating breakfast. I said, oh, did I catch you on a gourmet breakfast? He said, no, man. He said, it's a leftover breakfast burrito from yesterday. So, but Bill is one of those just genuine guys. And with the question I asked him today, he was just like, yeah, do this, put this in there, put this in there. Man, you know, rock and roll. Good luck. You know, Bill's back to your statement about him. You know, Uwe, he's just such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask both of you guys if you have a question for each of you. Think about it, because I'm gonna play a Truth Masters deal from ChickN Bark. But if you have a question for Danny, Mr. Uwe, and Danny, if you have a question for Uwe, something that you might add to the show, I would love to hear it. But for now, I'm going to share a screen. We'll see if it plays. We tried to do this earlier and it didn't quite work out, but let's see if it works. We'll see if it works here in just a minute. Share audio, share tab. All right. We will see. Can y'all see it? Danny, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. You got to hit play.
All right, let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Nope. Nope.
So the audio is not coming through, Ty?
No.
No audio. I'm gonna have to get with Mark. I'll get him to send me the video. We'll do a file share next time, so we won't have to play it from the web.
Well, maybe you can get to him right now, because I got some.
You get too fancy, man.
I'll get off and talk to him on Facebook here.
This used to be 2 guys sitting on the tailgate. Now it's all this studio time.
I know we're trying. We're trying.
Studio time.
You know,
stuff, man.
We try to do the new things here at the So Smokin Gooder Show. You never know how it is. All right, Danny, do you have a question for Uwe that maybe I'd have not asked that you want to bring to the Gooder game?
Man, that's a put me on the spot.
And Uwe, do you have one lined up for Danny? maybe.
I do. And this, let me lead back into the thing that you left off on, Rob, earlier. Uwe, you and I literally met back in our trailers in Seguin, and it was really cool, man. Just, sitting there shooting the shit, bullshitting, talking about stuff. And then I remember, throughout the walk, hey, how's your cook going, back and forth. And then I remember you getting your calls, and pretty much knew you had it won, or in the back of my mind, I knew you had it won. But so you say that this leads into Rob's category earlier. You say pork is your strong category. What makes your pork so strong? I'm not asking for a recipe. I'm not asking for a finish rub.
Yeah, I meant to ask you that.
Just what's your key to winning in pork?
I wish I'd known. I just don't know. I mean, I cook it simple. I cook monies. I cook them for 2 hours open, and then I wrap them. I have the same process all the time, and then I cook them, and I stay on top to make sure they get tender. And
you take them to a certain temp, or do you take them to a specific temp, or you just take them to where you think they're tender?
No, I start looking at like 204, and then so when I trim them, I put them on a scale, so they're all roughly about weighing the same. That way, when I wrap them, I only put a temperature probe into one of them. Write it down. I don't want all the spaghettis coming out of my pit. I just probe one of them.
Yeah.
And it's pork butt. It's a little bit forgiving, in my opinion. So when I see it's up there, then I'll take them all out. I open them all up, and I probe them. Probe them for tenderness. Because I don't look at the temperature anymore. I don't use the probe anymore. And that happened to me in Seguin. 2 were perfect, and 2 of them were a little tight. So okay, these 2 go back. These other go in the Cambro. And I left them another 15 minutes. Did it again. They made the cut into the Cambro, and then I don't sauce them too much. I had one judge said not enough sauce, but I think he still gave me a 10. So I don't like to sauce too much. I want the meat also be there, you know what I mean? And just the sauce, make it complete. And so the thing is, I never have any pork left over. I put it in the box, so I don't have none to try. I barely try it, but it's hitting everywhere I go. It's just hit. I walked at the Smokin' on the Rio. Walked in San Antonio. There was over 100 teams. It just seems to hit everywhere, and
I agree. Like you say, you cook some. I do the same thing with my monies whenever I cook them, and I'll do the same thing with my chicken. I take them to where I want them, and it doesn't mean both of them have to come off. I cook 3 monies and 2 halves for chickens. If one of the monies is done, it's time for him to come out of the fire, and the other 2 to stay on till they're done. Maybe they all 3 come off the same time, maybe they don't. Same thing with my chicken halves. If one of them's way ahead of the other one, it's time for him to come off and take a little break, and the other one he keeps working for a little bit.
What happens? It happens as competition cooks.
I can smell when they're done.
Real quick, it happens as competition cooks. Some days it's a little hotter, some days it's cooler, some days it's windier, whatever it may be. Chicken, we're talking chicken real quick. Do you guys have a problem with like putting, say turn-ins at 11 or 12 o'clock? Obviously, when we do IBCA or CBA, turn-in is at 12 o'clock. What if your chicken is temping at 11:15? What do you guys do for that? Because I have 0 issues putting it in a Cambro, because obviously you have to, but it seems like whenever I do that, it seems to do well for me to just give that little extra rest. We all hear that all meat needs to rest a little bit, but it's different. Ideally you'd love it to be, pull it at 11:45 and turn in at 12. But sometimes it just needs to rest in the Cambro.
I personally stopped resting my meat this year. I don't rest hardly at all any of my meats, even my brisket. And I hit 11th in Seguin and didn't turn in burnt ends, just turned in slices and had a damn good brisket. But talk to like I said earlier, you learn with your eyes and your ears, and talked to several cooks and kind of came up with I was going to try that this year, and had a pretty damn good year with brisket. But it doesn't bother me if it's done. It's time to come off the pit. There's no reason to put it on there just because let's say chicken is at 12 and it's done at 10:30. Pull it off. If it's not, let it go till 11:45. Yeah,
10:30, bro.
No, that's no lie. I don't rest anything, but unless I have to. But if it's done, it's done. Pull the damn thing off. There's no reason to let it keep working overtime.
Uwe, how do you feel about resting? If it's early,
rest.
like chicken.
I rest.
Oh, what's that?
I rest everything.
Even chicken?
Yeah. My chicken is the thighs come out usually 11, about 10:45, 10:50. They're right around done. I stick them in the Cambro, and then 11:30 I
Sauce them, put them back on.
give them some love and sauce them, and then I put them, set them back on the pit for just a few minutes, and by that time I already know which one going in the box, and then and then I usually actually put it in the box, put the box in my carrier, and in Seguin it was so cold. I have a little lasagna carrier, and I don't want the box to wiggle around there, so I have 2 towels that I roll on either side so it stays put. And I microwaved the towels before I walked it, so that when they were warm, because it was just the wind was just blowing so cold over there, and that helped a lot, I think.
Yeah,
right
repeat that because you microwave the towels. Well, do you have a microwave in your? Obviously, you do. But if you're able to heat those towels at a cold day, it's not a bad idea. Put them in your warmer box while you're walking it up.
Yeah,
not gonna hurt nothing.
That's what I did, and it worked out. I mean, I think all my stuff was hot.
Man,
that's
meat was getting that, and that shows because you hit grand. But I'm telling you what, meat was getting cold fast in Seguin. I turned in pork, and pork is another one of my strong categories. I literally sliced it, put it in the box, walked up to turn-ins, came back, and my pork that I had just cut was ice freaking cold, and it's in my trailer with the door closed.
Yeah.
It was amazing how fast meat was getting cold. Now we're all battling the same dragon. Yeah. It's not like I was the only one that had cold meat, and he had hot meat. Man, that meat was getting cold quick.
Yeah, Eddie's in the comments, and me, Eddie, and Danny were in the same camp. And Uwe, you're right there too. That was a long walk, man. It wasn't like close at all.
4 minutes for me, 4 exact minutes. So I stopwatched it the night before.
4:17 for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
AJ needs to ask you, what temp do you take your towels to?
There he is.
He walked up to turn-ins with the microwave and a extension cord in tow.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. ChickN Bark. This is it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We're out here with another edition of Truth Masters with Texas Pitmaster, and today we have none other than
Eddie Morales,
also known as the Pit Father. Eddie, where are you out of?
Austin, Texas.
Central Texas represent. Let's go, baby. All right, we got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Ready?
All right, yeah, I'm ready. Let's get it.
Give me one of your guilty pleasures.
Probably smell of fresh carpet.
I'll
let you land.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds very strange. Serial killer strike number 1. Okay, celebrity crush.
Jennifer Aniston.
Not gonna disagree with that.
Great choice.
The worst barbecue injury you've ever had.
Man, one time I had one of them flimsy cutting boards, and I put them on my step in my trailer and went inside, and then I'm like, fuck my chicken. I ran outside and fucking slipped, busted my ass, hit my back, and that was it, man. Stupid.
Any bruises or anything out of that?
Oh yeah, my back hurt for a couple days, and my fucking neighbor looks over, he's like, oh, I didn't see anything. Motherfucker, yes you did. You were looking right at me. That's what it was.
The worst thing you've ever eaten in a barbecue competition?
Fuck, I can't remember his name, but it was somebody's brisket at Cacahuate Fest. But that shit was nasty. I spit it out as soon as he let me try it.
Danny.
You know who you are. Okay. Who is a messier person, you or your significant other?
Man, I have to say me. I don't want to die tonight.
He loves you very much. Okay, what is something that you know that people wouldn't think you know?
I know that people take a lot of classes and say they didn't.
That is the most honest thing we heard today. Rapid fire round. Hot Wheels or Matchbox?
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Noise or silence?
Man, noise.
Same. Chevy or Ford?
Chevy all
Chevy.
fucking day.
Salty or sweet?
Depends on what we're talking about, but probably sweet.
Samsung or iPhone?
iPhone.
iPhone.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Coke.
McDonald's
Oh,
or
you're dead to
Wendy's?
me.
Neither. I'll fucking eat dirt before I eat any of that.
Carmen Electra or Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson.
Carmen
Nice.
Electra was sexy
Player,
back
brother.
in the day. Ooh, that's a good one, Robbie.
All right, for the first time ever, we're gonna analyze some of those results. Look at the ChickN Bark logo. Pamela Anderson or Carmen Electra?
Oh, Carmen was sexy back in the day, man.
Uwe?
I would have to. I don't even know how they look like right now. Back in the day, I know one was on Baywatch and the other one I can't remember.
I think she was in
She
Playboy.
was on Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
I think she was in Playboy. I don't know. On Dennis
There we go.
Rodman. Yeah. No. Hey, Eddie, great job, man. That was fun. And shout out to the ChickN Bark, Roy Austin and Mark Suarez, the Soul Snatcher. That was great right there. We need to get a better deal right there. I think they said they were going to do that. All right. So no rate my box tonight. I'm sorry. We're going to push that back till next week. We're going to get out of here in just a minute. But Danny, Regan, give any shout outs you want to give out to.
Man, I think I gave him out in my Mount Rushmore, but definitely a big shout out to Uwe for winning the World Championship at Seguin. Great cook. You go down there and you're at awards and you're listening to everybody, and he had I believe 2 solid calls. Forgive me if you had 3, but I know you had at least 2. But massive shout out for winning that, my man. You did a great job. Sure was a good opportunity to meet you. Just by happenstance, we were parked next to each other. So, man, couldn't be happier for you. And my hat's off.
Appreciate it. Same to you, man. Who knew?
Appreciate you.
Who knew?
Who knew? Right?
We run into each other on Friday, and then on Saturday afternoon, we're both standing up there. How weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny, you were sitting there. Talk about that moment you heard your walk-up song played, because you weren't expecting it. And I feel the same way with Uwe, and we'll talk about him in just a minute. But talk about what you were thinking. You had one call, maybe 2 calls at that point.
I had 2. I had a 9th in ribs and 11 in brisket. So they announced the top 15 for people that weren't there or didn't know or whatever. And I was, like I said, 9th in ribs. And then Big O walked 8th in ribs. And then I'm 11th in brisket, and Big O walks 10th or 9th. So I knew Big O had 2 better calls than me. But they come down to the top 15, and Big O is announced like 11th. And I went, oh, man. So with announcing the top 15, you have basically 60 different names, or 60 names that are called. I think there was only a handful of people that got more than 1 call, but regardless, you have 60 names called. So you're sitting there in your mind trying to think of who won chicken, who won this, who did that, and then they get down to like 8th, and Mullet Shakers get 8th with no calls. And I was like, holy cow, I'm out. I know I'm out. I knew Uwe had 2 really good calls. Reggie had a couple of really good calls. So I was just kind of sitting there, and whenever they're announcing with CBA, they don't obviously announce your name or your ticket number. They announce first you do your walk-up song. So I kind of quit listening after Mullet Shakers got 8th. I just quit listening for my song. You're sitting there listening for your song, listen for it. Well, I quit. So they go down to the top 5, top 3, whatever. And then second, I'm just kind of gazing, just kind of aimlessly towards the stage. I'm just sitting there, not even thinking I'm in the mix. Even though I've got 2 calls, I'm like, they were high calls. I didn't think anything about it. I'm just hanging out, having my cocktail, drinking my beer, watching the stage, and then my song comes on. And the only thing I could muster up was wow. I remember just saying wow, and then it was just overwhelmed with people like like Corby and you, Rob, and Phil and Bill and Josh and Eddie and Stacy and Reggie and Joyce and Joy Machado and Mullet Shakers. It was just and I couldn't hardly talk, dude. I was crying like a 4-year-old that shit his pants on the playground. I walked up to the stage and I was just like, everybody's giving me hugs and everybody's doing all this. I can't even talk. I can't even, I walked up to Fred. And I've always had my grandpa always told me this thing. He said, "Cowboys don't cry. Cowboys don't cry." And I walked up to the stage and Roddy looked at me and goes, "Let him go." I said, "Roddy, Cowboys don't cry." And Fred goes, "It's okay." So it was kind of one of those moments that it caught me so off guard. If I'd have been the only one with 4 calls, you know what's coming. But when you don't know what's coming and you get to call yourself a reserve world champion, man, dude, I couldn't believe it. And I can't imagine what's going through Uwe's mind whenever he gets to say, "I am a world champion." So it was mind-blowing. That 30 seconds of fame was just a big whirlwind. And I don't remember everybody that came up to me, but I know it was a lot. But it was overwhelming.
Well, we're about to hear it from Uwe because I don't think he knew he was getting that call as well. So there were a lot of calls out there, and Eddie's in the comments. Me and Josh and Eddie were thinking about who had calls. It was crazy, the fact. And Danny, you caught me by surprise, just like you were caught by surprise. But Uwe, what were you thinking at that time, sir?
Well, we had a 14th in ribs, 2nd in pork, and once we came back sitting down, I told my wife, I'm happy. I was trying to do maybe top 30, top 20. I think we achieved that with the 2 calls. And then, and then it shipped out to be where there was like 5 or 6 teams. They had all 2 walks. So they all knew 2 of their meets, and the other 2, nobody knew. So I'm like, told my wife, it's the chicken 16th or 106th. So we'll just wait, but I felt accomplished, to be honest with you. I think we're cracking the top 20 here.
Or 165th.
And so then they were counting them backwards down, and then one will go, another one goes, another one goes. And I thought, wow, this is not us. And Fat Cap from the other team from the RGV, they came 3rd overall. Then Danny, and I thought, shit. At that point, my gut told me, you got this. But I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to jinx it.
Yeah, we've all been there. You don't want to jinx that.
No, you don't want to be cocky and, I got this, and arrogant. And then you don't, and then I blacked out a little bit. Then it took me, 5 or 6 minutes to get up to the stage. And that's where it was for me. That's where it is for me. I realized I'm a blessed man. I have so many friends in Texas, like all over Texas, that they came up sincerely, looking me in the eye, and I'm proud of you, and hugging me, and that was awesome.
So for we talked
blew up. What's that?
We talked about us being cooks that kind of took this seriously recently, but talk about that walk, man. You had everybody coming up to you that you probably respect or want to beat, and just giving you your proper love. You said it took 5 minutes to get up there, man. Talk about that moment and what that means to you and somebody that maybe hasn't experienced that wants to, because that is a big moment, man. That is special.
So the walk to me means more than the check, the title. I know some of you think I'm full of it, but
we don't. We know.
But the walk, and then with that, I mean, like I said, I blacked out. I don't know exactly who all was there. But then it continued into the night. My phone blew up. I got messages, text messages, Facebook, phone calls. Like, wow, this is unbelievable. And it was just awesome. That's why we do it, man. That's why we go through a lot of nights, no sleep, no cold weather, hot as hell in the summer, very expensive sport. And that validated it. It really did. It was just, if I never win another GC, I'll be honest with you, I'm good. I am good. I'm good where I'm at.
There it is right
and
there.
I have a lot of friends in Texas. I love that, man. I love all these guys.
I like the word that you just used. It validated it. The validation was a big part for me because, like I said earlier, we go through ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and it's a roller coaster of a ride in this sport. But there's times that you need that validation because you're second guessing yourself. And when you do get that validation, you're just like, you're overwhelmed. I mean, the emotions come out, the fact that you can't talk, the fact that you black out, same as me. You know, I was walking the stage. I know a few faces that I saw, but I probably saw 100 that night, and I don't remember half of them. And the validation is what I felt when I got back to my trailer. I was like, wow, I belong. I'm good.
So Danny, you and I are good friends, right? We're really good friends. We talk all the time, like you mentioned earlier. You know, you and I've talked, and you're like, man, I want to quit. I want to quit this thing, man. But you know, you just mentioned that validation, right? That big walk or that one, you know, moment that has happened in your barbecue career. You know, you were RGC. I still see bigger moments coming for you. Just because of this, it's going to propel you like it did, you know, Kevin last year. Mm-hmm. What I feel like it's going to do for Uwe, talk about that moment, the people maybe that are in the middle, people that are stuck, you know, you just not even 4 months ago, you and I were talking about, I was like, man, I'm talking, this is maybe not something I need to be doing. But talk about that, man, because you're a testament to sticking with it and you get your moment.
It goes back to the sports psychology aspect of it, in my opinion, is that, you know, like I said, and Louis and I joke about this all the time. I think Louis has 7 reserves. I had 8 reserves before I hit my first grand. And, you know, thousands of dollars, bunch of blood, sweat, and tears. I think about barbecue every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't look at a past note, a past timeline, a thought, a whatever. And I have a full-time job like everybody else. But I always think about it. And there are times that you just like, you go to a contest, you're like, man, I had good food. We know when we have good food, we know when we have bad food. And you don't get that call and you're like, man, what the hell am I doing? Why am I even busting my balls to do this? Taking away from money that I don't have, emotions that I don't have, family time that I don't have, and I'm actually doing this. Why am I doing that? You know, and then it comes a time to where barbecue becomes your release from reality, but you still want to do good. You know, I still want to go to contests and just hang out and have no stress. And I need to cook. But you want to do good. Nobody wants to need to cook and just go and be just okay. You know,
right.
Any of us that are serious about it, we know that this is something we want to do, we want to succeed at, and we're very passionate about it. You know, passion goes very deep. And it's one of them things that if you are fighting that battle, just you've got to dig down deep and just look in the trenches next to you and see if you can fight that battle, because there's going to be times that it's tough. There's going to be times. I remember Josh Hale last year. You and I are always with Josh and Stacy. Josh said, man, I can't get a call. And we've all been there. And then all of a sudden, boom, you know, Josh will be, you know, a grand or a reserve or, you know, in top categories.
Second brisket at Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo this past weekend.
Exactly. But you have to have the fortitude to go through the ebbs and flows. Never get too high, never get too low. It's always going to equal out, but you've got to be able to stay in the test of time. Nobody is like let's just use Phil, for example, right now. Phil is on fire. Phil is on fire. There's nobody else in the world like Phil. Okay.
Yep.
You're not going to be Phil. There's going to be a time, I promise you, and I love him to death, and him and I are great friends. There's going to be a time that Phil struggles. It's just the epitome of life, but we all have to, the rest of us that are chasing that to be that upper echelon, we have to just be able to survive, be able to go, okay, it's like Uwe said, I had a great cook. I'm happy with what I put out there. You can't control the judges. You cannot control what the judges taste.
Nope.
So once you come to peace in your mind with what you're cooking and what you're presenting, and you're like, all right, this is the best I can do. This is great. And just let the cards flow. You'll be a much better cook.
Yeah. Uwe, I feel like we're in the same boat. What Danny was saying.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have for people that are kind of, having little struggles or, maybe not feeling what they deserve? Some of your food you may feel like is the best you've ever, like my brisket deserved better. Got straight disrespected. We'll talk about that next week whenever we have Tim and Jackie and Tony on. But Uwe, what do you think about that? What Danny just said, and maybe you add some of your own comments on that.
Well, I mean, he's right again. So I personally, I don't like cooking back to back to back, because then it's like it stresses me out too much, because I also have a full-time job. I'm self-employed, and it comes with cleanup and then getting ready again, and then you got to go work on Monday, and you still have. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. So I like to, between cook-offs, ideally, I like a weekend or sometimes 2 weekends off. And I make sausages. I sometimes like to just stick around the house for a weekend and just crank out 25, 30 pounds of sausage. Just, but then I get the itch. That, oh man, I'm looking forward to, to go. We're going to cook this weekend, And so.
Do that again.
Course, go ahead.
Do that again.
But so then, but a little bit of success, I tell you what, helps. Or even if you got close, man, you got a third overall. Oh, damn, I was so.
And it's validation, like Danny said.
Run it again.
Yep.
But also give it a little bit of thought. Don't just slap this stuff together and give it some thought. And I've done a lot. My wife's family, God bless their heart, man. I use them as guinea pigs for a long time. Just, a rib A, rib B, which one you like better. And so it gives me an idea, okay, they like this sauce over that sauce. And also, it doesn't have to be too complicated. Barbecue doesn't have to be too complicated. I see all these seasonings and rubs coming out and all that. And I heard Brad Leininger say once that I can fly in there and just borrow some of your rubs.
What's up, Ace?
And just, and then finish it off with the sauce. And I bet you I have good barbecue, and that's, may not win, but it's up there with that, and I agree with that. I think it's more in the sauce than it is in the seasonings,
Hey, great advice. We're going to do your barbecue homies before we get out of here right now. We're going to start with Uwe. Uwe, barbecue homie. That's somebody you want to set up next to, somebody you're always with. Who's that?
I got a bunch of them. I'm sorry. You got to overtime a little bit.
This is we stir shit up on this show, and so you got to pick one, bro.
Well, when I cook in the Valley, I would definitely say it's Cesar Mejia.
Nope.
From the same town.
Nope.
He's going to make you pick one.
Well, then I would say, because I set up with Britt and AJ a lot and Sergio, and we try to shield each other. So that's not good either.
Nope.
Well, I would say then I would have to give it to Cesar.
All right. There you go.
Caesar's probably been the longest one of all of them. Of course, I love the other guys to death, and I enjoy cooking with them and setting up with them.
Cesar Mejia from Smoking and Toasting.
Yeah, his dad always, I don't know if he knows that, but his dad, at least one time during the cook-off, he'll come and find me, and he'll give me a hug and say, good luck today.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
And
I think he was asking about your sausage earlier in the
he was asking about your sausage.
Yeah, he was asking about
real
your
quick.
sausage.
We'll talk about your sausage, man. And can we order that? And whenever we know you're going to be at a cook off, and
yeah,
how much of a pre-order do you have to have? Because it looks
people,
amazing, and I'm sure it is.
People, you know, I sell it. I sell it a lot. I eat it. We eat it. And so whatever I have, sometimes I mean I have the freezer in the camper too, so that helps out. I don't have to worry about because I don't use any preservatives, so I have it frozen. And yeah, people, the biggest compliment in my sausage making that I get is from the guys at a cook-off. They're all pit masters. They know what a good brisket is and where to find good ribs. Yep. For them to repeatedly knock on my doors and hey, you got this, you got that. I'm happy. I don't advertise it because I mean, you know. And so, but yeah, I mean, just hit me up and see what I got, or text me, hey, you coming? Can I get this and that? And I'll make it happen if I have it.
All right, there it was. Uwe Braun, hit him up. Get some sausage. What kind of sausage do you have, though, Uwe?
I make 5 flavors right now. I make a fresh German brat.
Oh, okay.
I make a smoked pork sausage, a smoked jalapeno and cheddar, a smoked poblano with Mexican Oaxaca cheese.
Ooh.
And then I have a fresh chicken, spinach, mozzarella that maybe that blows my mind still when I eat it. It's just good.
I won all 5. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I have to make some jalapeno cheddar and the poblano. Those are the best sellers, if you will. And I ran out.
Where's your next cook-off, Uwe?
I'll be in Austin.
Well, after that one?
I haven't decided yet. I need to look at the schedule.
You need to go to Weatherford.
Oh, man.
That's a long haul for
a lot
him.
of money, though. I know, but it's a lot of money.
I'm trying to keep him away, Rob. Whenever I say it's a long haul, I'm trying to keep him away.
My wife needs shoulder surgery. We really need to get that.
All right, that's a lot of money. I'll be, Danny and I will be in Weatherford. So if you can, and if you want a sausage.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The weather.
All right. Well, we need to figure out where you'll be and where we can order.
I'm eyeballing
Beerbelly sausage.
Yeah, I'll be up there in the San Antonio area here probably soon in April or so.
All right.
That gives me some time to make some of the other ones that I'm out of.
Eddie says that Josh and I and Taylor will be in Weatherford.
Yeah,
they'll be dancing. They'll be dancing in the street or on some pits.
80,000 reasons not to go.
There it is. Go. All right, so that was Uwe. Danny, let's close it out, my man.
All right. Well, my obviously, you were in the hunt, but the tally has came in, Rob.
Oh, I'm not there.
Oh man, I'm the deciding vote. So no, you're my barbecue homie. You always been there from day one. I do have to tell a quick story because you and I always sit up next to each other, and we have from day one. From the time we met in Magnolia, we've just had a blast together and relied on each other and confided in each other a lot with this barbecue world and all this stuff. But we were in Wharton, and I had a toy hauler trailer that I was very proud of. And Rob said, and Rob and I knew each other and were buddies and sat up next to each other, but weren't as good of friends as we are now. Rob said, "You mind if I use your bathroom?" It's not, man. Go right ahead. Knock yourself out. So Rob goes in the trailer, comes back out. We're sitting there splitting whatever. I walk back in there to the kitchen, and this quaff just hits me in the face. And I said, "Holy shit, what did you do to my trailer?" So that's whenever I say in Wharton, Rob shit in my trailer and I had to file it on insurance. It was so bad. It was the most god-awful smell you've ever smelled. And I come stumbling out of this trailer.
Not true.
You know it's true. You absolutely know it's true. And Rob is just laughing. He knew. He was laughing. He knew. He was like, "My bad, bud." And we've been best friends ever since. So yeah, barbecue homie damn sure goes to you. So we've had a great relationship, even before the shit incident. Oh, can't hear you, Rob. Rob, your mic's on.
There it is. I said, thankfully, you were able to claim that on insurance. So we're at least we're good on that. But yeah, Danny, you are. I say it all the time. You're my barbecue homie, man. There's a lot of people that, barbecue homie. The hashtag barbecue homie is.
I think that started with us.
It has ruined a few relationships, apparently, but not ours. We're good, and apparently not Uwe's. Uwe's got a good one. Hey, listen, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on the show. Thank you to Danny Regan, who knew RGC World Champion at the CBA World Championships. Man, my goodness, what a big time event! What a big time cook off with a lot of big time events. Jordan, Kirkpatrick from Janky Leg, Bill Hine was there. Phil and Bill and Fred and everybody else, Carlo Casanova, Josh Hale, everybody, Eddie Morales, the whole crew was out there. And so y'all should be very happy with how y'all did. And so Danny, thank you so much. I'm going to drop you down for a minute. I'm going to talk to Uwe just for a minute. And then, but Danny, thank you very much. And I'll see you very soon.
We'll see you later, Danny.
Guys. Good seeing you, Uwe.
Like Saturday, probably.
Probably.
I'll see you. All right, there's Danny Regan from Hell Yeah Barbecue. We're gonna spend a minute for Uwe Braun. Thank you, Uwe. Hey,
you're welcome.
We wanted to give you your proper love, man. I know we had the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo this past weekend, but I wanted to circle back to the Champions Barbecue Alliance World Championship, man. Congratulations. That is nothing to shake a stick at. You got that big check behind you. But congratulations. Tell me what that means to you, being a world champion.
Tons of bragging rights. I think people maybe talk about you more than what you do. People bring it up more than I bring it up. I like I said, to me, it meant more to get all these congratulations, these hugs from everybody. That's where it really was at for me. And but world champion, that sounds pretty sexy.
It is very sexy. I'm not a world champion. You are a world champion. I'm a world champion rib cook. Apparently, you're a world champion. So, which is very special, man. And embrace it, enjoy it, and live it up, man. You are a world champion.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And like I said,
hope to see you guys soon. Somewhere
all right, there he was, Uwe Braun from Beerbelly's Barbecue. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you coming on the show. All right, we're going to drop him down. We're going to bring Ty in. Ty, come on.
Hey, what's up?
I didn't do that. That was you. What's up, producer Ty? How are you, bro?
I'm good. I take notes. I got to meet. I've talked to Danny Regan a few times. I've got to meet him, and then Uwe seems like my kind of guy. When I'm walking around, I'm hugging everybody, talking to them about, not just the cooking stuff, what's going on in their life, and like some funny shit they may say. So I like to bring levity to the situation. I know there's a lot of stress while cooking. So I know when I see you, Uwe, when I see you for the first time, I'll give you a big hug too, buddy. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Ty, you're amazing, man. Appreciate everything you do for the show. We talked a lot this weekend about the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We talked with Danny Regan. We talked with Uwe Braun. This was a wide-ranging show. Next week we'll have Tony Tanache. Are you excited about that?
Oh, yeah. And then I got to meet Tony live in person for the first time.
Yes, you did.
VIP show. That was freaking
and we'll
awesome.
Have Tim and Jackie Milligan from Team Chupacabra, but they were representing Team Pitmaker in the south of, or Taste of South Texas, or whatever it may be. But man, so we're gonna have a great show next weekend. But thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate you, man. I know I say it all the time, but you have improved the show, man. I appreciate that. So let's close out this thing right here.
All right, I'm ready. All right. thought you were going to say something else. I guess
I am going to say something else, and then whenever I stop talking, you can add the case thing. All right. So thank you, Gooder Gang, for checking us out for 2 hours plus, 2 hours and 10 minutes in. We'll be back next week featuring Jackie and Tim Milligan from Team Chupacabra and their Team Pitmaker in south of Taste of South Texas. So maybe we'll get Bill Purvis on representing the San Antonio winner Chicken Fried Barbecue, and we'll come back to you live the So Smokin Gooder Show. I appreciate producer Ty and the guest tonight, Uwe Braun, Danny Regan. We'll see you next week on the So Smokin Gooder Show. Appreciate you checking in. We're out.
Good night to all of you wonderful people in Barbecue Nation. You too, California.